Hey guys, it's me. I just making this video to give you my review on UFC Undisputed 2010. I know it's a little late. I mean, it's a lot late actually, but yeah, bear with me here, okay? Now UFC Undisputed '09 was a good game. It was certainly a kind of a big step for MMA games for the next gen. Um, and right now it's kind of like a war between this game and EA Sports MMA. But I'm just gonna give you my review and my take on what the game's like. Now I have the PS3 version. Makes no difference. Now let's start off with mechanics. Now everything works. Now when I look back on Undisputed '09 and um, to this game, I see some minor and major changes. The striking looks a bit more fluid. There's a lot more moves to do. And like the array of moves you can do. There's new disciplines now: Greco-Roman wrestling, sound, like all that stuff, and but they still kept judo and all the other stuff, and I like how they just kept all that, and of course they're not gonna let that go. I don't know what I'm babbling on about this, but anyway, the graphics still look a little, when it comes to fighters, they replicate them pretty accurately. Um, um, but when it comes to creating your own fighter, the graphics on your fighter look kind of unnatural. I mean, if you find a hair color or a haircut, it doesn't look as natural as like an actual fighter. Like if you go to like exhibition, pick out a fighter, a real life fighter, and it looks just like them, it's almost like they have their unique hairstyle and it looks natural on them. But when it comes to creating a fighter, like you look plasticky, you look kind of action figure-y. It's kind of like you look unnatural. It's almost like you don't really look that natural. And like the physiques are pretty good, but they still kept that one generic ripped guy 6 pack thing. But yeah, anyway, the exhibition mode, it's the same as it's always been. You pick two fighters and you go on and everything. But what I like about the new gameplay is that now you can go against the cage, and now you can clinch from the cage, you can strike from the cage, you can even like trip and throw them off the cage and all that, and you could use the cage to transition from like half guard and all that. I like how they use that. And then there's career mode. Now career mode is you create a fighter and you give like a limited amount of skill level, just enough to like go through your first fight. You choose your trunks, your mouthpiece, your fighter, your like skills and like what discipline you are and all that, where you're from and what's your name and your nickname. And it starts off, you're just fighting in an amateur league, trying to get up to UFC, and sooner or later you eventually get to that level. And I think is that it's more exciting when you're coming up, when you're rising up from like the ranks, and you get sponsorships. I mean, once you get the sponsorships, sure, there's a lot of stuff. And what's funny is I found that if you guys ever had this problem, on Undisputed '09, it was almost impossible to get sponsorships from like Tap Out and Sprawl and American Fighter and all that. All the major sponsorships you'd probably get till the end of the game. I mean, I know when I made my career mode on '09, I didn't get the Tap Out or the Harley Davidson sponsor until I was like near the end of my career, and that's what kind of sucked. But in 2010, you feel a lot more like you feel like you got a lot more stuff. Now you can get Tap Out trunks, which feels very very enlightening. You can put logos on it as always, and you can make custom shirts. Now that's a new thing, shirts. Now you can make shirts and custom shirts with your own design and logos on them, or you can take brand name shirts like Silver Star, Punishment, Tap Out, Hayabusa, and now you can wear hats too, which really makes it a step more realistic. I mean, you'll see your fighter at the end of each fight when you're getting your hands raised, wearing the cap, the shirt, and all that. I think that's pretty realistic, and yeah, and now, sorry. Now you get like a lot more stuff, a lot more sponsorships. There's a level of sponsorship, just like always. And you can go to online camps. You can go a bunch of online camps, get the logos for that, like '09. And yeah, you basically just fight with your created fighter and everything. Um, Now let's move to like the striking system. Like I told you, the striking system is basically almost the same. The submission system, however, hasn't changed. Now, when you look at the submission system, it's kind of like, well, but like you could work your ass off, spin the analog stick, mash the buttons, but you still wouldn't get the submission, right? This computer would always break out of it, and for some reason, when a computer gets you, no matter how low his stamina is, he always gets you in the submission, and your guy, created or not, always taps out. Now that frustrates me. It frustrates me how I have to like soften them up with kicks and you know get his stamina low, in which that works. I've gotten 3 submission wins in a row because of that. Uh, but like the only submission that worked for me that I used that technique on was a Kimura, and I wanted to mix it up, but I could never get triangle choke, rear naked choke, and all that. And I know what you guys might comment on and what you guys might say. Oh, you don't get submissions because you suck. I'd appreciate it if you guys, would give me a break on that. I mean, I'm just trying to speak out for like all the others who have trouble. Um, and it's really is frustrating. You could try your all and you wouldn't get a submission. Your submission offense could be like 100, and it still would make little factor on the way submissions work, and the computer, no matter what, always gets submissions on you. And to tell the truth, I've gotten more submission losses than knockout losses. I've always had to knock people out, ground and pound, TKO, and it really gets boring. You kind of want to mix it up with a submission or two there, but you can never get it. Even in sparring, even if you like get like a level of submission. But yeah, I know that wasn't much to talk about. I know that you're probably saying this guy didn't do a full review. He didn't go through everything in the game. But I'm just going across what I think should need to be discussed with other people like yourself. And yeah, if you're having troubles like me, time comes where you get a submission system like EA Sports MMA, and it just turns out to be incredible. So that's my semi full review on UFC Undisputed 2010, and I hope to do another of one of my reviews on another game. So, bye.